Hi everyone, this is JP, and today I'm actually going to be showing you how to swap out your problematic Mustang SN95 generation screw conveyors, which will control the horizontal adjustment of your seat, with some new and improved S197 generation, which is 05 to 2014 screw conveyors, which are improved and don't break as easily. And I discovered this during my seat swap, where I was swapping these newer generation seats into my Mustang. If you'd like to see that full video, it's on my channel as well. But this is a shortened video on how to just swap out your seat conveyors. So when you try to adjust your seat from back and forth and it makes a sound like this, it's probably due to this pinion gear being completely broken off, as so. So that's what happened to my car, and absolutely nothing was happening when I pressed the button. So when I was swapping my S197 seats in, I noticed that the seat tracks that I got from my donor seats had two working and good condition screw conveyors. So with some slight modifications, I made these two work. And I just want to make this video in case you're doing this swap and you have these seat frames that you're just going to throw away anyway. I mean, this one that I sawzalled apart is just completely useless at this point, except for scrap metal and the motors. But if you might be able to find a an F-150C or some other Ford or even another type of seat that might have a frame that has these components, just a little fabrication, if you even want to call it that, and you can have a nice working seat again without having to spend $100 on that kit that's on, I forget if it's on CJ Pony Parts or I don't know where, but yeah, didn't feel like spending $100. So I saw that these screw conveyors have a 4-point connector on them, and so I tried spinning this one, and see, when it goes into that coupling right there and you spin it, see, it's spinning in there, but nothing is happening. Sometimes it'll jump a little bit like that, but nothing really happened. Well, I have my 05 to 09 seat mechanical assembly right here, and I thought, I wonder if these would work. This screw conveyor is not going to work with the original blocks, okay? But it does work. I'll hook it up to the coupling right there. So it works. So what I can do is I took the block from the 05 to 09 assembly, and I think what I can do is just take my belt sander and sand these two little dots off. And then get a washer or some type of spacer to mimic that boss right there. And then I'll put that right there on each side and then replace that. And then the only issue I have is that the 05 to 09 screw conveyor assembly is about 3 inches longer, so I'm going to have to cut that off with the Sawzall probably, and then soften it. All right, so I took the 05 assembly, and I put it in as it is intended, as the 96 assembly is, but it doesn't fit entirely. So I might have to sand the back of that part off, but I want to make sure I have to before I actually... So I had to hand sand this actually because I dropped my belt sander that I got for free 2 days ago, and it already is broken. So anyway, so I had to modify this casing to accept this spring right here. So now when I put it in though, it actually fits pretty well. And I don't think I need the alignment screw right there because this spring lays flat on this case right there, so it just holds in place, and the only reason it doesn't go all the way down is because it hits that cross member right there. So yeah, I'm gonna take my Sawzall again, cut that off, clean it up with my Dremel tool so that it doesn't give me any issues threading on the screw conveyor right here. All right, so I have it fitted, and looks pretty good. The only thing is that the original bolts are a little too small, or too short. And the last thing left to do is cut this conveyor screw. So I have the second conveyor in, and you know, everything lines up. I also put the motor and the shafts back in for it. So I figured out a hardware arrangement that's going to work perfectly to keep these conveyor nuts centered in this track. So first, we're going to have a nut with the washer on it. These are M10s if you're looking at doing this. And then we're going to press the washer on. And then we're going to put 2 washers on the inside. So both of these, and then we'll put it on. All right, so I have the full C-track assembly in my car. Ended up needing 3 washers on the passenger side of the track, and then 2 on the driver's side to get them centered where we needed them to be. One thing that you guys might encounter with this is I bought the smallest M10 bolts that I could find at the hardware store and put them in, and then when I first tried to move the seat back and forth, it didn't move, and that's because they were tight, and it must have been pushing into this nylon threaded guide right here and keeping it from moving back and forth. After I loosened it a little bit, works perfectly fine. So, yeah, I'm going to take these bolts off, probably take my belt sander and sand off about I don't even know. I mean, it's not a lot, maybe 1/8 of an inch. So now that I've applied Loctite, I'm just putting a tiny bit of Moly synthetic grease on the tracks, and the screw conveyors. So we'll put it on these conveyors, push the seat up, and then you're obviously going to want to put it in your tracks too, just like that. So I'm going to spread that around, and then we'll be good. Just going to take the power seat switch from the SN and cut a little slot in the newer seat for it, and boom, there it is. And that was all I had to do to swap my S197 generation seat screw conveyors into my SN95 seat rails. And so now I'll just demo the functionality. So back and forth. And that's the new screw conveyors working. Works actually really well. Can't say if it works better than before because the screw conveyors in this car never worked when I owned it. So there we are. Like I said, if you want to learn how to swap these seats into your car, watch my other video, but this is just a shortened version for you guys that want to see the screw conveyor modification. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks.